Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today I'll be reacting to some more anime openings. These are getting really fun for me. I feel like every time I do one of these anime reactions, I come away with them with such a unique understanding of the music that surrounds anime, as well as the very interesting music videos and plot lines associated with animes. So yeah, I'm excited to check this one out here today, but before we do jump in, a massive thank you goes to Amy, whose generous support made this reaction possible, and she dedicates this one to Alex. Best of luck on your exam, Alex. Alright, so before we jump in, what we'll do is for each of these openings, we have 6 in total to check out here today, we'll talk about the plot line. Amy has generously and kindly provided a lot of the backstory here, so I'll read a bit of that off. Then we'll take a listen and I'll give my own perspectives and ratings on each of these. So the first one we're checking out here today is from an anime called Black Butler. This is the first opening called Monokuro no Kiss by Sid. This anime, Black Butler, follows Ciel Phantom Hive, a young nobleman, and his demon butler Sebastian, as they investigate supernatural and criminal cases in Victoria-era London. All while Ciel seeks revenge for his family's murder. I see. So Ciel has the vengeance and Sebastian's helping him along. The Faustian contract. Like the Faustian bargain? The Faustian contract, desperate for revenge, Ciel summons a demon Sebastian and makes a contract with him. Sebastian will serve as his butler and help him achieve his goals, and in return Ciel will offer his soul. See, this already introduces like a very interesting moral tension or conundrum, if you will, because Sebastian is only in it for the soul technically, which is, I think, a bad outcome. You shouldn't want to take somebody else's soul. Also, being a demon is probably a bad look. And Ciel is doing something out of vengeance. So I guess there's a lot of a lot of unique positions from each perspective. Ciel and Sebastian are tasked with investigating dangerous cases and solving crimes that threaten England, serving as the Queen's watchdog. The world filled with supernatural elements including demons, grim reapers, and other mysterious entities, all set against the backdrop of Victorian-era London. It's a cool setting as well. Exploring morality and justice. See, I'm very glad you actually included this because that's the perfect depiction of what I was just thinking about. As Ciel and Sebastian investigate cases, they encounter various characters and situations that challenge their own morality and the nature of justice. I love that you included this part here, because it is so true. If you're doing something good, but you're in the end trying to get somebody's soul as a result, is that a moral thing? But if you're also Ciel and acting out of vengeance, is that moral? Sure, it's like logically justified, but yeah, the question is posed for sure. Very interesting plot line here. Let's check out the opening. Oh, that's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one. I like pretty much all of the elements there. I feel like if we turned up a bit of the darkness and a bit of the actual vocal melody, I could bump this up pretty high. My immediate gut reaction is to put this somewhere in the high 7s and low to mid 8s. And what I'll do for the most part right now is I'll just give a range of where I think this rating may fall, and we can revisit it once we've heard some of the other openings there. And I realized the way that I'm actually doing these ratings now is kind of in 2 ways. The first is I'd look at the left-hand side of the decimal and I kind of assign an absolute rating. So if it's a 7 tier, then it's a 7, and then the 0.7 or whatever follows can be kind of based on my subjectivity and maybe my own preferences. And then the 8, 0.4, the 8 is the objective part and the 4 is my subjective superfluous feelings on the day. Maybe that makes sense, or maybe I'm just talking out of my rear, but definitely this one gets high 7s, mid to low 8s. Enjoyable for sure. Let's check out the second one here. So this one is called Bungo Stray Dogs, this anime. The first opening is called Trash Candy by Grand Rodeo, or maybe Grand Rodeo. Bungo Stray Dogs follows Atsushi, a young orphan with a supernatural ability, as he joins the armed detective agency battling the port mafia and other superhuman threats to protect Yokohama while dealing with his troubled past. That right there is already such a dense paragraph, but I wonder what his ability is. Many of the characters in the series possess supernatural abilities often inspired by the works of famous authors, and the series features battles against the agency and the mafia. I mean, the mafia also must be supernatural, right? If they're able to contend with the supernatural forces of the armed detective agency. The series features battles against the agency and the mafia, as well as other organizations with supernatural powers. Examples: Atsushi, beast beneath the moonlight, transforms him into a white tiger. Oh, that's super cool. John Steinbeck, the grapes of wrath, able to grow grapevines which can be grafted to other trees, sharing their senses with the host. Oh, this kind of reminds me of, is it the Devil's Snare from Harry Potter? There's also some random concept in microbiology called fungal intelligence, where every surface of a fungus that's growing, or the bacteria, part of a colony, they all sense what the other is sensing at the same time. It's kind of wild. Nathaniel Hawthorne, the Scarlet Letter, able to transform his blood into holy words and control them. These can be shot forth like bullets, used to form a protective wall or even bind enemy movements. Seems like a bit of a holy Spider-Man, I guess, with the transformative blood there. Arthur Rimbaud Illuminations allows him to create a hyperspace which he has full control over. Thanks to this, he is able to create a nearly impenetrable defense that could not be broken by guns or explosives. This one is wild. This might be the one I want, to be fair. There are many more characters and powers. The series explores themes of identity, purpose, and the values of life, as characters grapple with their pasts and search for a new reason to live. Wow. Again, with the anime plots, they are all so interesting. But let's check this opening out here called Trash Candy. Ooh. Cool video. Oh, that one is dope. Super dope. I wrote a bunch of notes here. I don't know if y'all are able to read this. I know the font is a little small. Hopefully, because I know this can be a little bit of a wall of text to you, but hopefully I can at least explain it verbally here. I think my favorite aspect of this song were the heavy moments. I'm now trying to like mentally compare it to the previous one, because I feel like the first opening we heard was a bit more melodic, but I would have preferred something a little bit darker or maybe even heavier in the lows or the bass to like bump it up a few points. I think here we kind of have the opposite set of comments, where I would say I love all the heavy components, but I feel like the parts that are a little bit more subdued or still energetic, they just happen to be a little bit less melodic than I would prefer. But that said, I really love the background instrumentation here. I think between the first two, these are kind of fairly comparable, but I probably would add like at least a flat 0.1 boost to the second one here compared to the first one. Yeah, 8.4 was the ceiling, 8.5 here is the ceiling. I think I'll go with that. Let's take a listen now, because we have two more from the Bungo Stray Dogs. So let's check out the second opening here, called Reason Living by Screen Mode. I gotta turn this up. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I think that one is my favorite thus far. I would probably put that around a 8.2 right away, and I think it was better than all of the first two that we heard so far. So I'm almost inclined to give the second one here an 8.0 out of 10. And I think then we have to give a lower, it's still high sevens, but lower than 8.0 rating. Let me think on that. It's somewhere still between 7.7 and 7.9. And I think that would be fair. Although I did make the comment earlier that if this is 8.0, then it's this flat 0.1 difference. So let's give this 7.9 to be consistent with my former self. These are fun though. I love the energy in this one. I think the main issue is the mix just feels a bit washed out. I think that's just the recording itself. I can't imagine that is what the actual original opening sounds like. If that is the case, I would actually have to bump this like maybe all the way down to 6.8. But I'm holding out hope that the actual mix was just a poorly recorded version of this opening and actually sounds more full and properly mixed when you actually watch the episode. But I love the progression. I love the interplay between the vocals and the strings, especially. Creates a really fun, vocal / instrumental texture, which I'm a big fan of. Also, we got some heavy guitar riffs, not as heavy as this first opening from the Bungo Stray Dogs, but heavy enough that I feel like we got a good taste of what I prefer. You know, I love heavy music in general, so when you add it tactfully and tastefully, I'll be satisfied. I'll be appeased. All right, Now let's check out the fourth one. This also is another opening from the Bungo Stray Dogs. This one is called Tetsu no Ori by Grand Rodeo. Let's check it. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yes. Immediately. Oh, wow. Immediately my favorite one so far. I think it has to get an 8.9 like instantly. I can't give it a 9 unfortunately just because I feel like there was still moments where you could add more melody or more like technical nuance, I don't know, more interesting musical effects that I've heard in other anime openings at this point. So I think 8.9 is the best rating I can give it out of 10. I should also include the out of 10 here. And for me, that's a great rating. These are all really fun, honestly, to listen to. I don't know what the string is, though, at the beginning. We'll listen back. Let me know what you think this sounds like. Like, what is that instrument called? Either way, I love how, like, twangy and kind of bouncy it is. And because it is this, like, light texture, to immediately follow it up with just a heavy guitar riffage, it's the perfect thing to hear, is all I can say. Definitely 8.9 for me. I hope you all are enjoying the reaction so far, by the way. If that is the case, you should request a reaction yourself. You can hit the link in the description box below. Of course, that's the best way to support my channel. All right, now we have to check out this fifth opening here. This anime is called Ergo Proxy. The song is Kiri by Monoral. Ergo Proxy is set in a post-apocalyptic society. I don't even need to read anymore. I love post-apocalyptic societies where humans and auto-rave androids coexist peacefully. My expectation is that they don't persist peacefully until a virus gives the androids self-awareness, causing them to commit a series of murders. Not the virus thing, but if you guys ever saw the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, the robots becoming killer robots, is a tale as old as time, or at least since the first sci-fi author thought and conceived of robots. Let's check this one out. Ooh. Reminds me of Radiohead. Wow. I think you guys might be surprised by this one, but this is actually my favorite opening we've heard so far. Um, I think it's, I think it's a nine. I think it's a nine something. I'll give it 9.2. I think it is that good. And you may be surprised. I think honestly, like I've read some of your comments about how the way I rate things. Some of you guys find it surprising, but for me, it makes perfect sense. This song felt so congruent with itself. You don't have to go crazy one way or the other if the song itself makes sense. And that's why I wrote this one has so much potential, because it's only a minute and a half that we have to gradually build the way that we did here. Given a 3.5 minute, 4.5 minute song, this very melody that we heard could be extended, could be modified, expanded upon. Other sections could be included that alter the dynamics and give a more, let's say, cohesive experience. But all that aside, even that minute and a half we heard felt complete. It felt cohesive. And for me, I love good melody. That had a great melody, solid tempo. The drums were right where they needed to be. The vocals slotted in perfectly. Definitely my favorite one so far. If you threw in, like, let's say a little bit of like a groovier, meatier bass and like maybe some electric guitar soloing in the chorus, I could bump this up even higher. But I'm very satisfied. That is absolutely a 9.2. Wow, and we've already made it down to the last one here, the sixth and last anime opening of this episode. This one is from an anime called Gintama, the 13th opening. The song Sakura Mitsuki. Sakura Mitsuki. Sakura Mitsuki by Spy Air. I'm doing my best. Maybe I should start learning Japanese. I did say the same thing about Korean. I learned Korean for a time and then I kind of let that go by the wayside because I don't have any functionality for Korean other than to sing along to some K-pop. Russian as well. The only reason I learn other languages at this point is to just sing along in the native language. So this anime here, Gintama, in the alternate history of Gintama, alien invaders, the Amanto, have taken over feudal Japan, turning it into a puppet state. That's very interesting. And the story follows Gintoki, a former samurai, now a handyman, and his unconventional group of friends who struggle to survive and maintain their sense of justice in this new world. Alien invaders. Did you guys ever see that movie, District 9? It took place in South Africa, Johannesburg. I wonder what y'all think about that movie. Bit of a random comment, but I get reminded of that by this plot here. All right, let's check it out. The last opening of the episode. Ooh, nice bass. Ooh, that was a good one too. I wrote so many things so fast here. I don't know how fast y'all type. I think when I'm like really crushing it, I can get up to like 120 words per minute. with typos and just me not being able to like think out my thoughts quickly. I'll average maybe 90 to 110. Anyways, I like this one a lot. Definitely a very cohesive sounding song. I think a few of the notes that I added were I wish that there were some unique pitches that the vocal melody landed on. And I guess in concert with those unique pitches that the vocal melody could have landed on, you add some like seventh chords or suspended chords, augmented chords, maybe even some diminished. You could add some unique flavors to this one that would separate it from the rest, I think. And when we jump out of that first chorus, I really loved that beautiful bounce and groove in that post-chorus section. So that was like a big kind of difference in the style we had heard thus far. But the second chorus, though it was bigger than the first, I feel like it could have been a bit more explosive. And maybe you guys know what I'm about to say when I say it. I love explosive choruses, especially after we've heard its first iteration. So in my opinion, it wasn't as big as it could have been, but still did the job. And I love that we bookended this opening with where we began, which was an electric guitar outlining of the chords there, a bit of like an arpeggio. So now the question is, where do I rate this? And if you guys know me, you guys know that this isn't a 9, unfortunately. Is it a 7? I don't think so. I think it's somewhere in the 8s. I think it's got to be between 8.3 and 8.7. That range kind of resonates well with me. And I do think it is better than the second opening here, 8.2. But by how much is the question. Also, if you guys haven't been doing this, I want to hear your ratings as well. Put that in the comments. I think I will give this one a 8.3. That's what I'm happy to give. So let's see, where does that put the 6 openings that we just listened to? So at number 6, we have Black Butler opening 1, so 7.9. And then Bungo Stray Dogs opening 1 gets an 8.0. In 4th place is the second opening at 8.2. Then we get the 8.3 with Gintama. And then the top 2 here, Bungo Stray Dogs opening 5 and Ergo Proxy, 9.2. Yeah, Ergo Proxy takes the cake for me. I'm very curious. Let me know what you all thought about these openings, and let me know about this format that I do. If you guys enjoy the way I'm giving my thoughts and reactions, or if you prefer a different format. These videos, I make them for you all, so I just want you to enjoy them, and I'll do my best to make these as enjoyable as possible, because for me, it is already such a blessing and so enjoyable for me to listen to all of this unique music. So wanted to say I super appreciate you all. But that's all I have for you today. I will see you in the next one. Hey friends, I hope you all enjoyed the reaction today. And if you'd like me to react to one of your favorite songs, you can hit the link in the description box down below. It is the best way to support my channel. But in any case, your support, your kindness, your comments, your likes, they mean the world to me, and I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.